Hello, welcome to another session of a coffee and a concept. Today we are going to see an interesting topic called Gemba walkthrough. Now if you look at it, the Japanese automobile giants, especially Toyota, they have given phenomenal systems and processes to many industries across the globe, and there are a lot of industries they either use their techniques as it is or they modify those techniques to fit into their needs, and even that goes up to the service industry or the BPO industries. Okay, now what is this Gemba walkthrough? In Japanese, again, the Gemba walkthrough means just looking at it, going to that place and then see what is happening. Okay, so this is one of the visual management or visual process or crisis management we could see. Okay, so what technically happens in the Gemba walkthrough? So team of people, they go into the shop floor where the real things happens, and people ask the questions basically about what is happening, who is doing it, why they are doing it, and where this feeds into. So these are the typical questions that is being asked. Okay, now what is the intention of these questions? The intentions of these questions is to find out where the wastes are in the process and find an opportunity to eliminate it. Okay, now this walkthrough is not about just going and then talking to people. So this is about keeping the people aside and focusing more on the process and figure out where the gaps are or where the opportunities are for us to improve it. Okay, so typically it happens on a periodic cadence, maybe on a weekly basis or once in a fortnight. Okay, so now we spoke about Gemba on the manufacturing environment, and this is possible. I think the modern days, in fact now when we do our consulting work, we are suggesting the people to go and use this for the office environment also, right? I'll give an example where we ourselves personally implemented this Gemba walkthrough for a flooring industry that's based out of US. Now what we did is, now this particular team, predominantly we did this for the procurement team, where the procurement team is responsible for handling, buy or sourcing both direct and indirect goods for almost 5-6 different plants, and then 3 or 4 different corporates based out of the US. Okay, now what's the big deal? The deal is this. Now when we have 5 or 6 analysts working on these initiatives and 4 or 5 buyers who handles all these indirect goods, there are so many things that is happening there. So the number of moving parts are so huge. So now bringing all these resources together, trying to understand where the problems are and try to understand the opportunities for improvement on an ongoing basis is very difficult. So what we did is, okay, let's go for a Gemba walk. So we modified this Gemba walk a little bit and said, okay, now in your workspace where you 10 or 11 people are working, so we will install in a Gemba, let's say a board or a Gemba framework where they can bring in all the key metrics for that particular week. For example, if you are going to have this Gemba review on a Thursday, so on Wednesday evening, all these buyers and analysts, they are responsible for bringing in the happening of those week. So that could be the number of purchase orders they handled, the number of requisitions they handled, the number of invoices that got stuck for payment. And there are interesting projects that comes in. For example, a $50 million worth of expansion that happens in a factory, so that comes through them. So these are all the key inputs we take and then populate it in the Gemba board, right? And we leaders and consultants go to the buyers and talk to them about that particular week what really happened. So they bringing their success stories, and they also talk about the showstoppers what really happens. And when we have these leaders and the people who are doing the hands-on work in one single place, so that again this Gemba walkthrough space really becomes a decision-making zone. So you have the right data in place, you have the right people who are supposed to be taking decisions, and also you have the right people who are really doing the job hands-on. So when you have all these things together, so that makes our decision making much easier. Fatafat keep going. So this is one such example. And another example in the shop floor, let's say we have done this for a quality team. So wherein this quality team is responsible for checking the colors. So we have a booth that is now being set up. So we all go to the booth on a once in a day basis. So we go to them on that particular day, what are all the things that happened. So we will get those products displayed. So the right product that passed through the line, and the most defective product that passed through the line, and the interesting cases what they found out on that particular day, all those things will be displayed. Okay, so now it makes it much easier for you to go and visually see what happened on that particular day and figure out where those improvements areas are, and then do the improvement. Okay friends, so figure it out. So Gemba walkthrough is not just for the manufacturing, so it could be done for any function you really want to do any improvement, and that will be a good adoption for you. So we have more information on our website. Visit www.we4oria.com for more information, or reach us for more information. Thank you very much. See you in the next coffee and a concept. Bye.